Hey everybody, welcome to Dice, Drinks, and Drama. I am not your DM, JHC, and today we actually have a new DM, somebody who is a special guest for this week. We have Felix Isaacs, the creator of Wildsea, and he'll be running the game for us today. And we will be running a different game. We're not doing Dungeons and Dragons this week. We're actually doing Wildsea, which he created. Felix, take it away.
Hello, I'm Felix Isaacs. Not really used to streaming, not really used to the internet in general, but I did make the Wildsea, which is a game of exploring a vast treetop sea, set in a kind of a bright post-apocalyptic future. And I think we should jump into it as soon as possible, I reckon. So if we could have a quick roundup of your characters, paying special attention to your bloodline, because these are not the typical kind of dwarf, elf, orc type things, that you're all something very new. Tell me who and what you are.
So, my name is Devren Bryant, and today I will be playing their name is Rokoto. They're an ectus. Ectus is a what are those things called? A cactus-like species. So like very fibrous, very planty. An ectus shankling slinger. So a very fluid-moving cacti who has a gun and can see heat. Like heat with the flowers that grow off of its body. It's gonna be really fun. I can't wait. This is one of the best characters I've ever created, and I'm very excited to play with.
Awesome. I will say one of my aims with the system was to have people say, "I'm a cactus with a gun," and that be a genuine character choice.
Yeah, I'm really feeling it right now.
Yeah, I love it. Hi, I'm Zëk Stewart. I'll be playing Basket, or Basque for short. I am a sentient colony of spiders called the delicacies. They are, for some reason in this world, and a mysterious reason, currently unknown, I believe, bunches of colonies of spiders have started to gain sentience, and then will join communities by living inside of different things. I'm named Basket after my first place where I lived, which was a basket. But now, I am inside of a human-ish shape form. It holds up like it was, like clothes and stuff like that, gloves and things like that. But I seem kind of empty and flopping around because at one point my colony split off in two due to some sort of internal conflict. So I'm a largely empty bag of spiders. And then I am spitborn, which means I'm the little scrappier. We come from a group of people that live. Spitborn are. Can you describe it quickly, Felix, if you would?
Yes, spits are like temporary islands made of like old world stone, usually that are brought up to the surface of the sea of trees by the movement of roots and branches. The spits don't hang around for too long, but because there's very little livable solid ground, they're colonized pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm. Cool, and that's where I'm from, and then I'm also a dredger, which means I sort of go into wrecks and pull things up. Physical appearance is that whenever my other colony left, they took all the best bits, so largely, I did have some skin stuff, but I don't anymore. I'm largely just, I'm like a hooded figure with like a bit of fabric hanging in the front with like a smiley face painted on it. Yeah. Just wants to be everyone's friend, but has a terrifying voice, which you will hear later. Yeah.
Hey, I'm Vic. I'll be playing Career this evening. If you imagined combining a large mushroom with a vulture, that about shows what they are. They're a Gao, and they are a Shankling, which is the people that kind of go on the, from what I understand, the upper parts and jump between the branches. I think that's also one of the bigger ones that you explained to us when you were on the show. And they're a hunter. And I just absolutely loved the principle of having a mushroom just going around hunting for like small woodland creatures. And I couldn't get over that. Mushroom's revenge.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Carter Scott Horton. I'm playing Otso Cook, who is an ardent rattle hand. An ardent bloodline is a descendant of now ancient humans that used to live on this planet before the forest sort of took over. I am rootless, so I don't have a precious land source that is quickly colonized. I grew up at sea, as it were, and my character, Otso, is out and about searching for stories and hoping to find land that he can claim for his family. Oh, and I'm a rattle hand, which means I just like tinker and fix stuff and make stuff. It's fun.
That all works for me. Yeah. A few questions about your crew and your ship. I believe the ship you're using is the Fading Dawn, which is a pre-made ship and is the one right behind you, Carter.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah. How long has your crew been together as a unit?
I definitely know I've been following them for a while, but they haven't noticed me. I've been a stowaway for the most part, but I've been leaving them like carcasses of animals when I've heard that they've been hungry. So I've been kind of supplying them from the back end, and they just think it's a miracle, like just random cows appearing in the cargo space kind of situation. So I'm going to say tentatively for me, it's been at least 3 years. For them, it's been about a week.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Love it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I love it.
How do we discover you? Who discovered?
We'll find out.
Yeah, we'll find out. Sure.
Have we discovered you? I guess that's the question.
That one's up to you. Did you find me? Yes. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I think so.
We did.
I'm good with a recent discovery. I like that.
Mm-hmm. Cool. And then I think otherwise we've been together for a long time, right?
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
About a year, maybe, one would say.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The Wildsea is a game in which world building is something we do as we play. The biggest pillars of the world are there. It's a sea of trees. Islands are temporary. These kind of solid facts about the world. But we also come up with smaller things that are true for our session as we go along. So I'll try not to put you on the spot too much, but I may ask the occasional world building question.
Mm-hmm.
What happens?
I like it.
I'll try. If I ask, I'll try and leave it open to anyone to jump in. So no individual pressure if I can help it. And with that, I think I'm ready. If you are,
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So let's start with a quick description of where you are, which is. Some people call it a spit, but it's been there for like 100 years or so. So this is a long-standing spit. It's a place called the Open Hand, and it's named after exactly what it is. It's a giant stone hand from a pre-verdant statue, which has been pulled up through the waves. You are currently on your ship, the Fading Dawn, pulling into the port of the Open Hand, which is placed just on the thumb, which has been partly hollowed out to allow ships to kind of enter. The Open Hand is a big multicultural settlement, and you are here, I am assuming, to experience the Summer Storm Festival, which is one of those yearly festivals that, like, travel is rarely undertaken for kind of less than important reasons. But on the Wildsea, festivals are pretty important. So you'd have been drawn to this place for a good reason, I feel. Where are you on your ship, and what are you doing as you pull into port? Give me a kind of rundown of what your general place is.
I am in the engine. Do we want to roll for it? I'll roll.
No, I want to hear about the engine.
I'm in the engine room, and I am currently working with my tiny little artillery spider, which is slightly larger than the palm of my hand. I think it looks like a little bit like a Metal Gear is maybe a fun way to describe it, but a spider. And I'm working with it, trying to figure out a better way to sync up my artillery spider to my hand, which is also mechanical.
Oh, cool.
I do like a good mechanical hand. Okay, Rokoto.
Rokoto. I feel as if Rokoto is I really don't want to say the captain again, but
Yeah,
not every Wildsea ship has to have a captain. Ships can be communally owned. That's fine.
But at least I feel at the helm of the ship, at looking out, I feel as if Rokoto doesn't do much on the ship to do anything on the ship. Rokoto has skills in other facets.
Okay, who's next?
Sure. I believe that Basket is in the kitchen trying to cook some stuff up. But he doesn't have taste buds, so because he's a collection of spiders. So he's just trying to taste it every so often, and his face is just straightforward because he doesn't realize how weird this is. And he holds up the spoon to his mouth and tips it, and it just spills down the front of his outfit. And you hear.
So when you say like trying to cook, trying is really the operative word here.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
you're doing your best.
Yes.
Okay.
You just hear him being like, so good. I love the way this tastes.
Completely.
Who's hungry?
Right, Voldemort.
We're slightly off to the side of where you are and just judging you based on smells of what you're working with and just being like, just kind of like, "Argh." But pretending still it's been a week, but they still refuse to speak in any common language for everyone. And they're just trying to be sly. But they're like, "Argh, argh," and like trying to navigate if it's quality or if it smells horrible, and it's not really an accurate gauge, so you keep making the same mistakes over and over, imagine.
Mm-hmm. Unless someone tells
actually,
him, no, he'll never
on the subject of language, there is a common language to the waves, Low Sour. It's kind of the language of ships and shipborne people, but there are lots of other smaller, rarer languages. And you may run into a few today. And in fact, I think the first one you'll run into is Saprec. Because as you pull into this thumb port, there are a kind of bunch of burly Ectus dockers, these cactoid people. They wave you in with flags, they direct you to an empty bay. Like, this place is pretty packed. There's a lot of different kinds of ship here. The festival is a popular thing. But they're shouting to each other in Saprec. Do any of you understand it?
Saprec.
No.
I do not.
Mm-mm.
That is, it's interesting. That is the language of the Ectus. I did not take that one.
Not every bloodline needs to know their own language, so that's absolutely fine.
And I thought about that too, and I was like, surely I won't run into any other Ectus about. For that reason, I believe that Rokoto hasn't really been a part of his people or their people for a very long time. I don't remember how long Ectus lifespan are.
Oh, they're long. Some Ectus
long?
have survived since before the Wildsea even existed. Like,
Yes. Okay, so I was like, Rokoto is more of an ancient soul. That's why Rokoto doesn't do anything on the ship, because Rokoto knows. Okay?
that makes sense. Well, these the flags are enough to pull you in, even if you can't understand the language that's being shouted back and forth.
Is it signaling that the flags
it is
are?
indeed signaling.
Okay,
yeah.
so I understand the flags.
Oh, then you know exactly where to take your ship. That's fine.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm on it.
They people assume that someone on a ship will know signaling, and it's the kind of thing. It's like knowing the highway code. Like, yeah, some people are terrible drivers. That's just life. But you hope they're going to know the basics. Yeah. So, but as your ship pulls in, Rakoto, one of the Ectus dockers shouts something to you in Saprik. It's obviously directed straight at you, even though you don't know what it is. How do you respond?
I say, you there? Do you know the common tongue?
This kind of burly dock worker just has back. Oh, yeah, common tongue. Yeah, no props. Yeah, that's fine.
Thank you. I haven't spoken that language in quite some time.
There's something to be said for getting back to your roots, but I'm not going to judge you. Just going to, just saying, there's a lot of us here.
Well, my roots
Nice to
have
be
been
among,
up here for a very long time now.
There are a few quiet words exchanged, and the language of the docker changes to low sour from Saprik as they kind of accommodate you.
Oh, all this for me. All this for Rokoto. Thank you.
Well, Rakoto and crew, but yeah, pretty much Rakoto. Yeah, as you pull in, you can take a look at the other ships around, and in fact, this is one of the first things I'm going to throw open to you as a kind of world-building question. What other kinds of ships are here? What are they made of? What do they do? What do they look like? Give me a few ideas.
There's one that's made entirely like that travels instead of with chainsaws, but with whips essentially, and sort of slings itself across. It's like a pod on the bottom, but it whips up to the top and swings to each different location.
Like it.
Mm-hmm.
Rokoto looks around and notices if any of the ships look of like a higher tier, like do any of the ships look expensive?
Oh, there is one that looks very, very nice. It looks to be, from the fittings, you think it might be like an ardent ship. The doorways are reasonably small, like an average Ectus would have to stoop to go through them. Mm-hmm. And it's made from the skull of a Leviathan squirrel, which has been kind of inverted and had several masts attached to the top. Masts are pretty rare on the sea, and you can't see like a chainsaw or any kind of propulsion on this ship at all, really. And these masts have no sails. They're just empty masts standing there.
That's interesting. Is there... And there's no one on the ship right now?
Not that you can see. It looks like it's moored up, and you can see the start of vines growing up the outside of this skull that makes up its hull. So it must have been there for at least a few hours, because, hey, things grow fast in the Wildsea.
Not fast.
Part of the dock worker's job is to make sure none of the ships are overgrown as they sit there in port.
Oh, that's fun.
But yeah, these Ectus wave you in, and as you find your kind of berth, you can disembark and head into the town if you like. You get a few friendly head nods from them. It isn't only Ectus at the dock; it's just that the Ectus seem to be kind of the predominant dock worker types. Natural muscle can get you a long way when you're hauling cargo.
Rear kind of confidently gestures forward and starts to begin to shake hands with any person on the way in, and then looks back at their newly acquired crew and's like, with no real confidence, just trust me. Expecting full bite back. Otso
in Old Hand expresses thanks and gratitude for looking after the ship as we enjoy the festival and all of their hard work.
Oh, there's definitely a few of these dockers that pick up that you're speaking in Old Hand, which is one of the oldest languages. It is a form of sign language. And you get a few, just as you had nods for like turning up and knowing signaling and pulling into the right place and not smashing your ship against anything else, you get even happier nods as they realize that you're speaking some of their language.
Huh. Oh.
Yeah. And one of them, in fact, signs back, this younger, scrawnier Ectus signs back, like golden sails, golden sails in Old Hand at you repeatedly,
Hmm.
and then points at that Leviathan squirrel skull ship.
I sign what golden sails?
What is your Old Hand? What's your ranking in Old Hand?
My ranking in Old Hand, I only took 1.
I'd like you
Great.
to roll it to see if you can understand what they're about to say.
Can I add grace? Because
Yeah,
I
you can
am
add grace.
trying to be a good neighbor.
Yeah, I like it.
I got a 5 and a 6.
Okay,
6. Pardon.
yeah. So for a roll on the Wildsea, you only read the highest result, but if you get any doubles, that's important too. So
No doubt.
a 6 is a triumph. You do indeed understand. And what this younger, scrawnier X is telling you is that in the sunlight there are golden sails when it moves.
I sign back, that's beautiful. Thank you. And then I write it down in my journal.
You can actually take a whisper for that.
Ooh, lovely.
Yeah, a whisper is one of the 4 main kinds of resource. Whispers are living words that rattle around in your head until they're spoken, and when they are spoken, they can affect the world in strange ways. Take the whisper, golden sails.
That's what I am slowly writing in. Thank you.
Okay. Greer,
Also,
it
I'm
seemed
going
like... oh, sorry, go for it.
No, I was just going to say I'm going to return to my crew and enthusiastically, while still scribbling down my story about it, this fine Ectus gentleman, he mentioned something about golden sails, not scales, sails, golden sails on the mast in the sunlight. I think that's phenomenal.
Beautiful.
It does, yes. So,
I've been around for a very long time. Would I know what the golden sails were?
Yes, and I believe you can see heat.
I can see Heath.
In that case, you can see something a little more than your crewmates, because you can see a slight shimmer in the shape of a sail.
Okay. Wait. So when I do this, my arms are made of these like long petals that flow almost like sleeves. So when I look with the heat, it's very much like I needed everybody to know that. So
I like that. That's good. I like a flowery Ectus. I'm entirely happy with that.
I'm looking with these flowers, and
Yeah.
what do I see?
You can see just a shimmer of slightly warmer air in a vague sail shape around these empty or seemingly empty masts. And you've been around a while. It looks like this ship is run on solar sails. They collect sunlight and weave it into something akin to a fabric to move.
That's gotta be rare.
Oh, definitely.
Part of me is like, let's steal it, but let's not.
I was just about to ask, which captain is this?
There's a defining moment in every crew's life when you realize, when you see a cool thing, are you going to admire it or are you going to steal it and admire it? That's a defining moment in most games.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, weird. I wonder who it belongs to, though. I would love to talk to the owner of the Golden Sail. It's got to be old as well.
Of course. Yes.
Okay.
Let's find them.
Yeah, with that, I think heading into the actual kind of town proper is probably a good way to go. And as you do so, this is not the festival day. This is definitely festival prep. And I would like to treat this as a montage. So everyone gets a little bit of their own action, basically. Where do you go? Do you stay together? What do you seek out? What kind of sights do you want to see? Just one thing from everybody.
I would love to insert myself in the gathering of like meat or food oriented resources just to feel, and I feel like that's definitely utility of both instinct and grace for them, where they're just like, oh, this seems nice. This seems like a kind thing to do for everyone. I'm good at this. Why not offer my skills?
Okay, I will definitely come back to that.
He's going to look. They're going to look for a dance anywhere that people are dancing and try to join in with the livery. Liver? What's the word? What am I looking for?
Liveliness.
Liveliness. Let's take it.
There we go.
Okay, a dance, good. What else?
Rikoto definitely wants to talk to someone about what theater they are going to put on tomorrow at the festival. Rikoto can't wait to be astounded, you know.
Like it.
I think Otso is going to try and find the gnarliest street food he possibly can. Eat it and write about it.
Okay, I can go with all of those. So let's go kind of in reverse order, in fact.
Oh.
Otso, you kind of take a look around. I'm not going to make you roll for it because I know exactly the kind of thing you're going to find if you're looking for the gnarliest street food.
Okay.
When you head into town in general, there is this huge bustle of activity. There are Ectus and Gao and Ardent and Chelicray all rubbing shoulders and mingling. There's a huge stage being set up right in the middle of the town, in the kind of the palm of the hand. And each of the fingers looks to be a different kind of market district. And people live above their stores and stalls, so everything is urban. There's not much wasted space other than the very center of the palm. Buildable land is pretty rare on the Wildsea. But you're heading into the back street. It probably takes you up one of the fingers, let's say the pinky finger. And you find a stall selling kebabs of a certain type. They're entirely vegetable, if it can be called a vegetable. Maybe it's a fruit. People aren't really sure. It's something called a slaughter melon.
I eat it.
Okay, so this one's going to be an interesting one. Slaughter melons are pretty dangerous to eat. There's a reason this stall is way out in the back streets. Slaughter melons are, if you think of like a durian.
Okay.
But the spikes tend to move around to wherever you try and grasp it, which is why they're on sticks for kebabs. Slaughter melons are fruit with souls that can hold a grudge, and they don't like being eaten.
I love it. I want to kill it and eat it.
Yes. Well, luckily for you, it's already been chopped up. But if you
okay.
want to eat this slaughter melon, there may be consequences. I'm just warning you in advance.
I got a strong stomach. I'm
Okay.
eating it.
Tell me what your strong stomach does.
My strong stomach reduces the impact of poisons, diseases, and sickness.
That is actually going to help you a lot.
It is an aspect I get from being an ardent.
Yeah, that's good. That is going to help you a lot. Because normally what happens when you eat slaughter melon is that grudge-like soul just attaches to you and dogs your steps for the next few days at least. You'll find little bits of slaughter melon husk and rind in your bedding or turning up in other food.
I love this.
Yeah, and slaughter melon sellers are very careful to try not to touch the fruit itself as they sell it. And when, outlanders like you roll into town and try a kebab, they usually kind of stand there. And in fact, the ardent at this stall is standing there looking at you with a kind of knowing smile on their face. But I suppose you eat it, and that grudge-like soul feels nothing to grab onto. You are resistant to this kind of thing.
Delicious.
Yeah, the seller just looks you up and down and goes, "Oh, you have you eaten slaughter melon before?"
No.
So, you're feeling all right?
I feel splendid, sir. Tell me, where does it come from? How do you harvest it? And what is its nature?
You pick it from the tangle. Grows up around shipwrecks usually. Some people say it's the souls of old sailors. They really managed to hold a grudge, but they don't seem to for you. Bloody hell! Do you want some more?
As long as I can afford it within reason, then yes, I indulge.
Yeah, normally sellers would ask for a piece of salvage or a whisper or something to trade. It's very much a barter-based economy. But upon seeing you eat this with seemingly no ill effects whatsoever, this ardent seller is just going to push more and more of them into your arms. They are happy to get rid of them.
Lovely. I snack on those for ever.
Yeah, but put it down as a resource. You've got watermelon kvass. So,
would that be specimens?
Yeah, I'll go in a specimen. Yeah, cool.
Hmm.
That's actually the first time anyone's ever successfully eten slaughtermelon.
Wow.
Well, with no lasting ill effects, of course.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, let's pop to someone else in this montage. Someone else. Vic, you were also looking for food.
Yes, I was.
Were you looking for a more normal kind of food?
I was looking for what would be the most impressive things that I could find around, but I also have no understanding of the culture, so it could go either way.
Okay.
I was like, oh, that looks nice and shiny. Nice and shiny, but also edible.
Well,
but not too gaudy.
Not too gaudy. If you head to near the center of this town, you will find something which is rare out on the waves. You will find an open flame. People are roasting wolf meat over a genuine open fire. And in a sea of trees, as you might expect, flame is generally a bad thing, and it's kind of frowned upon. But the open hand, this large port that you're at, it's made of stone. It's one of the safest places to keep flame, and you will have the chance to eat genuine roasted meat, which is pretty rare.
Exciting.
What I would like, though, from you is if you want to have like a healthy portion, you're going to need to buy it, which means trading away one of your existing resources. But you will get a benefit in exchange.
Alrighty, I think I know what I would want to trade. I'm gonna go with my fluted stone. And I'm gonna be very, when I hold it, I'm gonna be very crafty about it too, and to kind of advertise it in a way that's a little bit more than it is. Maybe throw a few lines about, oh, it sparkles at night, it glows in the dark. And then I just blow in it, but I'm actually really just making a noise with part of my mouth and not the actual stone. And I present it to the group that are roasting, or is it roasting? Roasting.
Yeah, it's
wolves.
roasting wolf meat. Yeah. They will. That salesmanship, perfect. They will take it, and they will give you in kind of exchange. They'll give you this wolf meat. It's not good once it goes cold. So you will have to eat it now to get the benefits of it. But
Right.
what it gives you is a temporary track, a small benefit. Something you could kind of knock damage off if you get damaged in the future. Just called Well Fed. So yeah, you get a, say a 2-box track called Well Fed.
Down.
Now, moving away from food, someone was asked to dance.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes. Go ahead.
Where do you go to try and find dance as a concept?
I mean, I'm listening for music, and I assume if there's a local... I don't know if there's recorded music in this world. Is there?
There might be bottled music if you're, if you're in a place that can bottle music, and this definitely isn't one of those. But hey, it's a thing you might have heard rumors of.
So if I listen near the town square, I'm probably going to hear music if there's a festival starting somewhere, and move towards it.
That's probably where Rakota will also end up. You'll probably go to the same place.
I also like to mention that I haven't described how I move. Since I'm half empty, I look like it looks like a bunch of clothes moving themselves, and sometimes I forget what's my hands and my feet. So sometimes I'm like bent over backwards with my head between my legs and stuff like that, and like sort of flopping forward constantly. Yeah, just wanted everyone to know what a horror I constantly look like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that kind of beautiful juxtaposition with Rikoto as well. Because I imagine you're quite like an elegant sort.
With the flowers. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I've trained. It's been a long time.
Like
So yeah, you'll
like tumbling sentient laundry. I just wanted to say that out loud.
Tumbling sentient laundry. I've heard far worse character concepts, and not many better. Yeah, you two will end up the same place. You probably get there by different routes, but the music and the theatre here for the festival, they are intrinsically linked, because what you find is a group of practicing drummers. And at the very center of this town square, there is a huge jawbone from a creature you don't recognize, standing up like an arch. And these drummers are kind of testing out wooden and animal skin drums around it. And every now and then, they will like tap a drumstick against the jawbone, and a tiny spark will shoot off of it. You could engage these guys as you wish. They're all ardent, in fact. They are all kind of weathered descendants of humanity.
Great. I want to try to dance with their music and interpretively like show how much I care and how beautiful I think it is. And every time a spark goes off, I kind of want, I don't know, I kind of want to leap into the air and have my wind, like let the wind carry my body slightly before I land again.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
I want you to roll for that. I want to see how well you can dance to this.
Sure. What's the skill? What skill would I use for that?
You could use perform could work.
Okay.
If you had dodge, that might work too.
I got scramble, but that's not going to help. All right, no.
Oh no, I like scramble. If you're using the jawbone itself as part of it, you could like scramble up and leap off the jawbone repeatedly. I'm imagining like kickflips, spidery kickflips.
Yes, perfect. Thank you. I got a 5. I got a 5. That's the highest.
That is a conflict, and a conflict is something good, but also something bad. And I think if you tell me the good, I am happy to fill in the bad.
Sure. The good is that they like actually are catching the rhythm I'm putting down and appreciating that in some way. That like we are creating something together, like as a group, which I think is more that what a basket would want more than anything else. So.
Yeah,
yes.
I think they really kind of they get in on this action. These drummers, they're practicing and tuning up and testing out some rhythms. But as they see you dance, they kind of make it a bit more regular, just so you can follow it a little easier. And they really get into it until you put a little bit too much weight on this jawbone, and it slowly starts to teeter and topple. And then immediately their drums hit the floor, and they are rushing to like reinforce this thing. But wherever their hands touch it, you can smell just slightly that slight awful taste of searing skin. And they try and like as much as they can, they put scarves and clothing in between as they try and touch this jaw.
Can I rush up and try to like fit myself underneath it and push up as much as I can?
Yeah, but I am going to ask you to take a point of vault damage.
I will.
Yeah, touching this thing, there's just a constant low-grade electrical current running through it. When you take damage, you mark it off of any of your aspects.
Gotcha. What's my thing? Thank you.
Okay.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'll mark that off of...
Anything that feels like narratively consistent is good.
Yes. Gotcha. Oh, I have a motley carapace. So I have like bits and stuff like that attached to me that can work as sort of shielding, and that's what I'm going to mark it off on. Yeah. Yeah,
perfect. Yeah, a few of the, once you've kind of secured this jaw back upright, a few of the Ardent clap you on the shoulders and go, that was good, but that was close. Maybe let's not do that again for now. Yeah, it's good but close. Good but close.
Oh, of course. Would you like to be friends?
Let's see how it goes. Yeah.
Of course.
Oh. And Rikoto, you would have seen this happening as well, but that's probably not what your attention was on.
No.
Because you were looking for theater, right?
I am looking for theater. Rikoto is looking specifically for, like, tales.
There is an empty space where you feel theatre should be. Right under the jawbone, there is a stool, a very simple stool, but there's ritual markings around it, these beautiful inscriptions and swirls. It's obvious that this is the seat of an important person, but there is nobody there.
Mm-hmm. Do these like, I guess the runes on the floor, do I recognize them as a language? If anyone, or if you speak Chthonic, you might. Chthonic. I was hoping it would not be. No.
Yeah, Chthonic is the old Ardent language, pretty closely related to humanities. So, yeah. But yeah, you would recognize them as Chthonic, but you wouldn't be able to read.
But Chthonic, that's very interesting. I wonder what this could be for. And there's nobody else in this theater, no?
You would normally be able to ask someone else, but they are all desperately trying to stop a big jawbone falling over, so...
Well, seeing that this theater is completely empty, I'm going to just take a little like show for myself and stand in the center of this and give, like, just one or two great bellows out. Just be like, oh, just hear the acoustics.
You would definitely get some response from the crowd as you do that. Some claps and some cheers and some jeers. It's a tough crowd.
It's a tough crowd.
Yeah, I think that's a good time to bring you all back together, I feel. Mm-hmm. I'll let you share what you've done and found out, and then we'll take it from there.
Would you like to meet my new friends? Look, these drummers here. Guys, say hello to my friends.
There's a kind of chorus of quiet hellos from the drummers who are all very focused on their practice now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hello. Welcome. Well met. Yes. Would anyone like to try my kebab?
Spit that out.
What?
I immediately try to shove it inside of the sack that I am.
No, these are mine. You don't want a slaughter melon?
But
as you mentioned, Slaughtermelon, a few of those drummers just subtly moved slightly away from you.
They're not illegal, are they?
No, they're entirely legal. They're just not eaten by sensible people.
Okay, sure, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Otso is insensible, but okay. No one. So nobody wants my slaughter melon. No.
I do. I have a mire that I am compelled to eat. Exotic food. So
there you go.
I shall indulge. Which is probably not going to be good for me.
Yeah, are you eating Slaughtermelon?
Yeah, I'm trying to. I'm putting it into my sack. So there is slaughtermelon inside of the husk that I am.
Okay, just so you know, I'm starting a track.
Yeah.
And this is a hidden track, which means you know it exists and you know the name, but you don't know how many boxes it is or what it's building up to. And this is just called Slaughtermelon Grudge.
Oh, nice. Yay.
And as you eat it, you get the strange sensation that you have made a terrible but minor mistake.
How exotic. And you see like the sack like mimicking chewing.
It's prickly, isn't it? I like it. It stabs you in the
It would,
esophagus.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's
I hate
You see it like poking out on the
Yeah,
sides.
like kind of like then comes back in.
Yeah, like you could see it poking gently at like the clothes a little bit on the outside. Yeah.
Yeah, and
It's
those
delicious.
points of poking, those spiky points, would be moving around inside you as well as it tries to find a way out.
Yeah.
Yeah, not super dangerous yet, but definitely unpleasant.
Mhm.
But hey, you know.
Fire Koto doesn't eat that.
Oh,
Sensible.
all right. Well, so how was the culture?
Rokoto found a wonderful theater over there.
Mm.
Looks lovely. I can't wait for it to be open tomorrow.
All right, lovely.
Mm-hmm.
As you mentioned that, actually, there is a kind of whisper from nearby. Just, when people walk past and pass comment on things they're hearing.
And they were roommates.
Stop.
Exactly like, and they were roommates. Yeah, you overhear someone in low sour say, "If it opens tomorrow."
I immediately stop him. What species is he? Because I'm putting my hands on him.
Well, we've lost sound. Everybody, give me 1 second. I don't know what happened. Oh, yeah. Okay, hi, everybody. Sorry, we lost sound for a minute. Now we're back. I think now you can hear us. Please let us know if you can't. And I'm going to rearrange everybody, so I'm going to be quiet for a minute. Continue where we were.
Okay.
I think you just
So-
pulled him off to the side. I don't know when you guys...
Yes. You were explaining Myers.
Yes. Oh, yeah. You can play into your Maya in a roleplay sense, which I love. But you don't have to worry about the mechanics behind them until your Maya is marked. And Mayas are marked by like terrible things happening to you, or you doing terrible things. So.
Okay. Well, so as soon as I hear it, it's very like graceful and like without looking, and it's a very like a snap. What are you talking about, child?
This kid is kind of looks at you shocked and doesn't know quite where to look on you as well, because of course actors don't have traditional faces or eyes, so just kind of his own eyes move from like bloom to bloom as he tries to like find out the best place to look at you.
And I love that.
And you can see that blush, that heat rising in his cheeks as well, and you can see it before it even gets to the skin because hey, heat vision.
Heat vision.
And this kid, 14, 15 maybe, goes, "Oh no, I was just saying that we might not have a. I mean, I shouldn't really say. I'm always told not to gossip,
Please, child, you are among theater patrons.
Yeah, well, about that, the festival's we've got a bit of a problem, but I don't think I'm meant to be talking about it, so. I would like you. Yeah, I would like you to make some kind of social roll. How do you get information out of this kid?
Let's see. Well, my drive is to solve problems. So immediately upon hearing that there is a problem, I want to work on it.
That does sound good.
So
yeah, let's go through the proper way of putting together a roll. Actually, which could be useful. So you start with an edge. What do you think edgewise is going to work for you?
Edgewise, I believe my grace would be the most appropriate way to convince this child to talk to me.
Okay, so your edge gives you 1d6, and then you go with a skill, and that gives you a number of d6s equal to its rank, so between 1 and 3.
And the skill I would like to use... None of them really make sense.
Well, if you don't have a skill that makes sense, you can always also try a language. Because languages are also bundled up with culture. So the only problem is that I know this kid speaks Losau and Chthonic, being a local Ardent, and I know you do not speak Chthonic.
Can I assist as an Ardent who knows Chthonic as a translator?
You wouldn't have to translate it because you can do this in Losau, but what it would give you is like important cultural knowledge that might help you like open up this kid's kind of gossipy senses in this situation. They can feel a bit more at ease.
It's a little bit more social currency to play with.
Yeah. Why don't you try this role?
Oh, Well, I too have grace because Devren and I chose the same 3 edges. So I have that, and I will roll for the skill of chthonic. So 2d6.
So yeah, 1d6. Well. 1d6 for having the edge, and then however many d6s for the skills rank. If you also have an aspect or a resource or something, you can gain advantage die for that if they're relevant.
I don't.
Okay, you won't always. It's just one of those things.
Unless this kid is like really eyeing my arm spider cannon contraption.
I mean, that might be terrifying him rather than putting him at ease. If you want to intimidate the information out of him, I mean, you go ahead.
I don't know. I want to stay friendly. I'm a friend today.
Then yeah.
Then
roll
just
your
2.
Edge plus you. Okay.
I got a 4.
Okay, so conflict.
Mm-hmm.
The good side of this is that you can get the information. The bad side of this is that he is immediately going to tell other people that now you have this information.
I like that.
Yeah, just so you know.
Okay.
So this kid goes, it's the Ajna. It's broken. It's got a snapped string.
The Ajna.
None of you know what an Ajna is. I can tell you that now.
In chthonic, I ask him what it is.
Oh, so he will explain as best he can, but he doesn't have all the right language for it, no matter what language he's speaking. The Ajna is an instrument played by 2 people, one of them alive and one of them dead. Think of it as a kind of semi-spectral guitar.
This is when I looked at like the spectral site for being ardent, and I was like, I should probably take that. Nah, I'll get a lead stomach
It's not
instead.
gonna come up, yeah. But yeah, Ajna are really hard to make, and they're a lot of them exist now are really old. And yeah, as this kid says, the local Ajna has snapped a string.
I ask what the strings are made of.
That I mean, I don't know. You're gonna have to speak to Iteka.
All right. Before you run off and tell people,
Yeah, I'm gonna tell Iteka.
yeah, this is not my character voice. I don't know what I'm doing. So before were you going to tell Iteka?
Oh yeah, I shouldn't have told you, and now I've told you. I have to tell her, and I'm.
Do you mind if we follow?
I'm probably gonna tell my dad.
No, you could tell your dad after. Do you mind if we follow you to Iteka?
Could I stop you?
Rokoto says no.
No.
And then this kid kind of looks at all of you, especially at you, Otso, and says, "Okay, so I probably can't stop you, and you look like really kind of like wave-ready sorts, and that can be really good. But they do say about people that spend a lot of time on the sea that they sometimes forget their land legs, and that's what I'm counting on." And he just zips off into the crowd as fast as he can.
I scramble on the mother. The mother, hopefully, the mothered child. I'm hoping he's not motherless. A scramble.
Ooh.
Okay. You can roll it to see if you can catch him, or you can just like try to track him down as best you can.
I kind of want to catch him. I don't want him to get away because
you can give it a go, but you're going to be rolling with a cut, which is important. A cut is when something is even harder than usual, and it doesn't reduce the number of dice you roll; it reduces the number of results you have. So you take out the highest results.
Oof.
yes,
And you're going to have a cut of 2 on this roll.
of 2.
Yep.
Well, then I still want to roll, but I can't even think of an edge, which would my scramble is 2. So I would technically have a roll if I can think of an edge. Maybe, I mean, grace is also agility.
Yeah.
Correct? Yeah.
Yeah. You can try Grace. Grace
What do
and
you think,
Scramble
guys?
sounds good.
Should
to
I
me.
roll 3? We haven't asked the chat anything. Chat,
Oh,
do I risk it all? What do I do? Sound off below. Yes or no? I'm not as good at binary choices as John. This is difficult, and I want to pay my respects in this moment.
I like to play games.
All the dice.
Let us know.
Are you going to
Go for it.
run
All
to
right,
the
we got
ground
one.
and tackle a child? Or are you
So I
just
gotta
gonna
roll
let him
just-
run off.
Just so everyone knows. Yeah. Do I roll 3d6, reduce 2, and hope that I don't accidentally kill a child? Go for it. Risk it. Everyone wants us to do it. All right. And by us, I mean me. It's the royal we. Ooh!
So you remove the. That's a 1. Okay. One.
It was
one
a
is
5, a
disaster.
2, and a 1. I know.
Yeah. A 1 is a disaster, which means everything goes horribly wrong for you.
God.
Not only do you fail to catch this child, you blunder into several people carrying a whole tray of slaughter melons towards one of the back streets. Which, hey, for you, not so bad. But for everyone around you, that is really bad news. Because as these melons roll off of this table, there is just these concentric circles of people going, oh no, and just kind of rushing backwards. Like people running away from the tide as it comes in, because hey, you do not want to get stuck with a small melon. That's a bad thing.
Sorry. I'm so sorry. There was a child, and he was a jerk. I'm so sorry. Goodbye.
The people around you are just looking at you. A few of them like try and edge slaughter melons back towards the table with boots, but most of them just staying clear. You get some dirty looks shot your way, and I am starting a track.
Uh-oh.
Local troublemakers. I'm marking the first one.
There we go again.
Oh, is that a Meyer?
No, not yet.
Okay.
but
So it's
I will
not
say-
marked.
No, but there was another track. Slaughtermelon Grudge, I believe.
no. That was me.
Someone had a particular experience with the Slaughtermelon.
Oh.
And as these Slaughtermelons roll off this table, one of them bounces unnaturally far. And Basket,
Uh-huh.
it hits you in the face.
It like falls inside of me again.
I'd like to take 2 points of spike damage from this thing.
Dang. All right. Wow. All right. I will assign that out as appropriate. Probably my carapace as well.
I'm so sorry that happened to Bask.
Yeah, Greer, you from where you're standing, you get a really good angle on this, and you know you're a hunter, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you know the way things move, especially the way a predatory animal moves, and this fruit moved far more like a predator than a fruit. Like it should not have bounced anywhere near that far, or with anything like that accuracy.
Is there a chance that I could utilize one of my aspects?
You could try. What do you want?
I'd love to use the target dragonfly to try to figure out what's going on with these fruit.
Yeah, go for it. What would you read out the target dragonfly description? What does it
Of
do?
course. I paraphrased it a bit to fit in my box,
That's
but mark to identify a weak point or weakness of a creature you can see.
Okay. Yeah. If you mark that
There's
track, I will.
sentience within that melon.
Yeah.
Okay, and that would be. What, do I need to identify each of the aspects as well?
Nope,
each
that
of
is fine.
Okay.
Yep. All you need to do is just mark one of the boxes on that aspect, and I will give you some info. And I would like you to describe your target dragonfly as it flies towards this thing. How does it look? What does it do?
It almost looks like a just the very, very tippity top of a mushroom, but it almost has a helicopter element, but a reverse helicopter element to it. So it's just the head, and it just goes, and you see it kind of breathes as it goes as well. So it kind of putters and then goes forward a little bit, like it's swimming through the air.
I think it would kind of like dart around or helicopter around, I guess. This slaughtermelon as it drops to the floor. And what you learn very quickly is that when people talk about these things having a soul and a grudge, they're not speaking metaphorically. There is a genuine whiff of soul stuff coming out of this melon from a tiny crack that opened up in the rind as it hit the floor. You don't know exactly what that soul is. Maybe animal, maybe it is the soul of a lost sailor, who knows? But But if you want to rid your teammate, your crewmate, your poor spidery crewmate of this curse, you will have to do something with these souls at some point.
But I doubt offering them meat at the moment would be a viable option, so I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait and hear out what's going on.
But what I will say is, next time you do something involving the slaughtermelons, you personally, you can increase your impact.
Ooh.
Which means that you just have more of an effect on the world. So anyway, you lost a child in a crowd.
In a crowd.
Now, if I used, what's the name for it? Because it's open on another page, and I'm new to this game. Tremor Sense. Is there a chance I could figure out, based on the pattern of that child's feet, what's going on? Like, could I find him? Yeah.
Yes, I love it. I'm going to ask you to roll for it, because it's going to be hard. There's a lot of people moving. But
Cool.
that's a great use of Tremor Sense.
Yes, and I feel like, would tides work with this as well?
Oh, tides is lovely, yeah.
Yeah,
Tides is knowledge of the
Sense.
waves and the kind of environment you're in, yeah.
And then I also have a dot and sense as well, too, right? So I'm saying
Also
dot,
perfect.
which is not...
I know what you mean. It's fine.
Yeah.
Dot, rank, level, thing, you know.
All right, cool. Oh, wait. Yeah.
I'm going to say cut 1 on this, because it's going to be hard.
Good. Well, I got a 4. Yeah.
Okay, that's not terrible. That's conflict.
Yeah.
You can tell like the direction this kid was headed. After he just spit into the crowd, he kind of jinked left and right, went in between some stalls, tried to hide from the inevitable pursuit, and did a pretty good job. Didn't hide well enough for you. You know he went into a large building just off the square, but you've lost him once he's in there.
And the way I describe it, that I did it was I literally, like, I'm standing 1 second, and then the pile of clothes just falls to the ground. It, like, lays flat against it, and you feel it.
Maximum floor contact.
Yeah. All you see is the melon rolling and trying to poke its way out inside.
I like it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, it is up to you. You can follow this child that you're definitely chasing for some reason, which is a very normal thing for a crew of hardened sailors to do, just chase a child down.
And it's not a problem.
We're chasing you to help you, yeah. Yeah, I mean, go for it.
One of my drives is to gather stories to tell my daughter, so
Aw.
this is one, as will the theater show, so that's a twofer.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Otso needs it.
So I tackled this child, right?
I tried. Otso tried very hard. Otso is not an athletic individual. Or violent, really, in any way, shape, or form.
Got pets. Well, pet things.
The boy went this way. And then I roll forward as fast as I can.
The crowd will probably open up a little bit in front of you as you do so.
Yeah.
Yeah, you cut an odd figure. It's not that there aren't other Cheligrey here, it's that most of the Cheligrey here keep like a kind of vaguely humanoid shape. Probably.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
There's not enough. I feel like there's not enough spiders in me to like figure out what I'm doing is wrong. That's what's going on right now.
That's fair. Okay, so yeah, you can roll your way to this building.
Yeah.
Are you all heading towards it?
Yes.
Okay, you can tell you've been on the sea, on the waves for a while. You've been to a lot of different ports, I'm assuming. You know a junction house when you see one. A junction house is kind of a mix of pub and inn, post office and bounty station. It's everything a wild sailor needs in one place.
And the child went into here.
Yep.
All right. So, yeah.
Yes, I see a hand.
May I roll scrutinize to see if I can pick him out amongst the crowd?
You actually don't need to, because you're going to see him very, very quickly. Because this child is grasping at the hem of the skirt of an ardent woman, a very old ardent woman. And then looks towards the doorway where the four of you are and just points at you and says, "Them! They're the ones!"
I dropped the
friendly
floor.
wave.
I was like, yes,
Grace.
we are the ones.
Once
I say
again,
hello in Chthonic. Chthonic.
Sonic, yeah. The woman kind of looks you up and down and says, "That's not going to work with me, son." She says it in low sour as well. She is speaking so all of you can understand.
We, Your Highness, I am assuming.
Highness! You think I'm that venerable, do you? I see your type. Local troublemakers coming in here, chasing our children, throwing titles around when they're not needed. Oh yes, I know your type.
I wouldn't go as far to say local. Troublemaker is fine. Local. Goodness. So, regardless, I've been told that you have a problem. I would like to solve it.
I have 4 problems. 4 problems standing in front of me right now. Or three problems standing and 1 problem slumped on the floor like a pile of clothes.
Oh, I see now.
Yes, it was you. It was you. I was talking about you.
Mm.
You can actually see this place. There's a lot of people here. Again, various bloodlines intermingled. There's a gal behind the bar, the kind of stolid, stocky barman type. But also behind the bar, in what looks to be like an amber-fronted case, is what you assume is the Ajna. It's this beautiful, elegant guitar, and there is indeed a single snapped string. And with only 3 strings on it, that's a third of it that's pretty broken.
I hate to press, but I can't help but notice you have a particularly snapped string.
Oh, come here to snap the other 2, have you?
No.
I know your type. I know
What?
your type.
No.
And there are kind of murmurs from the rest of the people in this junction house as they go, "Yeah, that type, troublemakers, eh?" I am marking another box on your local troublemaker.
I yell out, "I am vehemently not that type. That is not my type."
I mean,
I think I had a type.
actions speak louder than words.
I beg your pardon, madam. Have you seen me snap a string yet?
No, but I know if I let you near that Ajna, I'd see you snap 2 more.
No. I just want to hear it played, and so I was going to ask what the strings are made of, and if we could be of assistance.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
I see. You come in here saying you're going to help and then asking for secrets.
So it seems.
I'm gonna walk out.
I'm gonna try to roll behind a table and see if anybody notices me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have a useful skill that's going to
Well, I
help
have
you out
stealth.
there? That's perfect.
I believe, and I have I think level 2 stealth, and I also have veils, so that would help as well.
Yep, that is absolutely perfect. Let's see if you can roll behind the table.
Yeah.
Stealthily. I mean, you can roll behind the table. Let's see if you can roll behind the table in a stealthy way. As you do that, Rakoto and Greer, what are you up to?
Rakoto is shocked that anyone would say that I am trying to do something that I am not trying to do, when I am in fact trying to do something different than what they are saying I am trying to do. So Rakoto please, all Rakoto wants to do is hear this beautiful instrument played once more. Please! Rakoto begs.
Okay. And Greer?
Greer puts their hand very, very gently on the woman's shoulder and almost dismissively walks away towards it to try to figure out what strings are on it, but gives her a little pat. Definitely is trying their best and their hardest to kind of impact it in almost a maternal, like, I understand what it's like to have a kid in a single grasp. Just, I get it.
In that case, I think this woman, the one that the kid called Iteka, or Iteka. I think Iteka would spare you a look, Greer, but not actually stop you, and would instead turn her attention to Rakoto. But before we get to that, I want to hear this roll. Yeah, you were rolling behind a table. Yes.
I got a 5.
Okay, a conflict.
Mm-hmm.
So a conflict, something good and something bad. The good thing, you managed to roll on a table without anybody seeing. The bad thing, you leave a trail of slaughtermelon pieces behind you that just seem to escape your sacks. So although you are hidden, if anyone follows that trail, they're going to find you really easily. I'm marking off another one on these slaughtermelons.
I have no idea this is happening, I feel like I have not noticed. It's like very important. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah. Rakoto, you were engaging Iteka, and as you did so, Otto, you were walking out in anger/disgust.
And frustration. I think for a moment I turn back and I look and I see what the progress of my fellow crewmates is, and then I have a thought. I don't leave. I'm right at the door.
Okay. That's a good place to dramatically pause. I like that. Yeah, Rakoto, you were pleading, yeah?
Yes, Rakoto pleads.
Iteka will look you up and down dismissively and say, "You, Ectus, you come in here. You come to our old hand and you think, oh, I know the way things work. I'm old. Well, guess what? Spiky boy, I'm old too."
We are both old. But I am also not, I'm pretty young for my old age. I want you to know that. Certainly you then must know how rare it is to find someone with genuine good interest at heart, or whatever organ I would have.
Well, if you've got good interests, you're not showing them. All you've done so far is chase a child, and one of you, and she looks around for you, Basket, and she doesn't see you. But she carries on regardless, and one of you tried to push our jaw over. Don't think we didn't see.
All the more reason to make it right by you, by gifting you the gift of the string. If you would tell us just where to procure the resources to fix. I'm assuming that the reason that this thing is not fixed yet is because you cannot, yes?
So, how aware are you of your surroundings in general, Rakoto?
There are flowers on me here and like here and like here. Okay, so
you've got a good sense of
I've got heat vision.
Yeah, okay. In that case, it's not a function of your heat vision, but you feel the room grow colder because as soon as you talk about helping out in solid terms, everybody else in this junction house goes much, much quieter. There are still some whispers, but like people are now listening intently to what's going on. There's none of those like shouts and jeers and kind of those comments that crowds love to give when they're seeing street theater, essentially. People are now listening properly. And Iteka takes a step back and leans on the bar. Says, "You say you're going to help.
Is this world not hard enough as it is? Without
a
yes.
beautiful
song?"
Yes, I very much agree. But offers of help usually imply some kind of reward. Help is rarely given for its own sake.
Well, perhaps we can speak of a proper reward once the help has been received.
I can think of one.
Oh.
I emerge from the door that I never left.
You're dramatically listening. That's good.
I was dramatically listening. I never left. I come back. Also, good old also. Those sails. If this is a secret worth guarding, so are those.
My sails, you mean? Yes, my sails.
Your sails.
Of course.
Interesting. How many do you have? Could you part with one?
Could I part with a sail? With a solar sail? In exchange for a single string? She looks back at the Ajna and then back at you and goes, yeah, I could do that. And you get the sense that you get the sense that you may have just kind of pulled more than you bargained for.
We get a sail.
I was so scared.
And I roll out from under the table and I go, great, it's a deal. And I stack back up and I like throw my hands on top of her.
As you do so, people that were by this table just like leap back in shock and surprise. There's like a domino effect in the room on your side. Your hiding served no purpose other than to really surprise everyone around you, but I am happy with that.
Yeah, I was nervous, and then I realized it was pointless, so I just like...
I like the idea that as you come out, the kid was right next to you, and he is the first one to like leap back.
Love it.
But yeah, you have. It seems you've forged a kind of bond of words with Iteka that you are going to find a string for the Ajna in return for a solar sail.
All right. I guess then we will take our 10-minute break. If you guys would like to join us, Black, we'll be back in 10 minutes. Hope to see you guys soon, okay? Thank you so much. See you soon. Hey everybody, welcome back. Thank you for hanging out for us a mission, and we'll continue our game. Felix. That's all I got.
Yeah, I'm Felix. That's me.
That's Felix.
Yeah. Hiya.
Cool. So we're doing Wildsea. If you're just joining us now, normally we do Dungeons and Dragons on Wednesday. We're doing a special with Felix Isaacs, the designer of Wildsea. You're joining us just as if we got our like big mission, which we're trying to find a string from a spiritual instrument, kind of like a guitar. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Does Ikota just tell us where to go, what to find?
So it's not quite as simple as that. What she will do is she'll buy you a round of drinks, which are going to be surprisingly spiky drinks. These are brewed from Ectus needles.
All right.
Do I feel a way about that?
I mean,
it's like drinking toenails, yeah?
Kind of, yeah. It's up to you how you feel about that.
Is it nutrient rich?
Oh yeah, it's healthy, makes you grow big and strong.
Great. That's all that matters to me.
It's like milk. You drink milk.
Kind of. Yeah, kind of like milk.
It's bantha milk, and it's fine. Blue bantha milk.
Yeah. Whenever Basket pours it into their face, they're a little bit too low, so it looks like they're pouring into their neck, and then you just see like wetness spread across across their sack. Yeah.
Your sack.
I mean, it's clothes, but let's be fair. It's like
their sack.
It's a sack, yeah.
Yeah.
That also made me acknowledge, since nobody responded, the utility of gills on mushrooms in general. And I feel as though with Greer, it would just be lifting anything up to just the underbelly right below their chin and just allowing it to go.
Just absorbing things.
So dope.
I was wondering what. There's probably just like a hole I can pour it into.
So oddly enough, how the Ectus eat and drink is one of the few weird little details that we've worked out over playtesting. Which is that, especially with food, you just kind of crush it in your hands and absorb it through fibrous skin.
I love it.
I assume drinks would be the same thing, because one of the Ector's potential traits is the ability to filter liquids. So you probably just pour it on yourself and absorb it that way.
I was thinking just maybe like a little tendril in the glass,
Like,
slowly
that works.
sucking.
Yeah. You got your own finger straw. It's
It's all
great.
Love it.
Is Rikoto? You know,
it's just a little.
But yeah, anyway, so Iteka would buy you all around drinks and sit you down. And she'd shoo this kid away, who was already staying pretty far away from you, actually, now, after being terrified by Basket's unexpected appearance. But yeah, so she'll sit down and she'll kind of shrug her shawl off that she was wearing, and you can see she has these massive and impressive tooth scars running all the way across like her shoulders and chest.
Impressive.
She tells you over this drink, and her mood softens slightly, but she's still obviously very wary of you. She starts telling you about her younger life, and this is the kind of rambling story that you would expect from a kind of very old person. But you get the sense that it's definitely on purpose. Like, this is not someone lost in the past. This is kind of a test for you. She's telling you about the time she was a Leviathaneer. In fact, she was the person who killed the Leviathan squirrel that her current ship is made from. She was a member of the hunting families.
All right. I know that Bask would be listening very intently, and has a interest in old things in general, and lore. So, can I try to figure out where she's talking about this thing happening?
Yeah, you can.
Mm-hmm.
She's basically saying that her first ship, the one she killed the Leviathan squirrel on, the squirrel dealt it a fatal blow and it was lost to the waves. And she names that first ship as well. So it wasn't too far from here. It wasn't too far from the open hand. But when she names the ship, she slips straight out of Old Sour and into a completely different language.
What language was it? Would we possibly know it?
You might. Anyone know Raka Spit?
I do.
Not me.
Raka Spit is the language of the hunting families. It is this incredibly swift, superbly detailed language, all about like the precise nature of a beast and its location, and it is a very, very detail-oriented thing. And she names her ship in Raka Spit, the language of her homeland and people. You have a rank in Raka Spit. You can know what that name is.
Sweet, I do.
Yeah. Yep. If you have even one rank, these are two very, very simple words in Raka Spit. Her ship was called the First Trophy.
Nice.
Oh. Very nice.
Do you show her that you understand that or not?
I keep it to myself.
Okay. So yeah, she carries on spinning this tale, and like at no point does she tell you exactly where it is, and at no point does she translate that ship name for you either. Like, she is keeping you, even though you're willing to help, she is keeping you at arm's length in terms of information.
I want to know what she killed it with.
Are you just going to ask?
Yes. What fantastic weapon could you have slain such a fearsome beast with?
She leans in close to you and says, "The most fantastic weapon of all, the mind."
Oh, I should have guessed.
And I drove my ship into it.
Ah, I should have guessed.
Yeah. But I had to think about driving the ship into it first, so I'm going to count that as the mind.
I see. I like the way you think and kill, for that matter.
Not the first time I've been told either of those things.
Listen, we're both old.
Otso is going to open up his many-folded chart and ask for Ikota to point out where we may be able to find the strings.
Okay,
Can
so
I
this
do
is
that?
this is yeah, you can, but this is going to be a challenge for you.
Okay.
Because if there's one thing Iteka does not do, Iteka does not simply point at things. She looks over your chart. Yeah, she looks over your chart and she starts to spin a tale. And again, she slips into Raka spit every now and then. Just the occasional word is in a language that you don't personally speak. And her hands, they come close to the chart and then like drift away. And she's like, "Yeah, my ship. It was in between two huge stands." I mean, she keeps on describing more and more, and these are very precise details of where it is, but at no point does she actually point to a place on the map.
Makoto encourages this, just so you know. He's very much like, "Oh yes, continue. And what color?"
Perfect, yeah.
Just get it on the map, then we could know where to go.
The details. It's all about the details.
It is those details. Right.
It is all about the details, that's true, but I thought you were the ones helping me.
Help us help you.
That sounds like two payments.
What?
Rakota continues to like the way you think, except this time, I think that we could be allotted just tiny, insignificant detail, so as to be on their way, so as to not burn all the daylight, so as to have this beautiful instrument ready by the next day.
All right.
Okay, I'm going to ask you to roll for it, and I'm going to give you a cut of 2. 1 cut for each of the boxes marked on local troublemakers.
So I can roll grace, and could I use... Why did I... Gather is just not what I want.
No, it's more for kind of in-person specimen work.
Yeah.
If you've got any social skills, they might help. Raka spit as a language could help if you're willing to feel that you understand it, of course.
I just didn't take any kind of social
Social?
skill at all. It's so wild that I
He
didn't
played
do that.
so. It's so strange for you. That's like,
Yeah, I don't know why I assumed that I was just going to be bobbing and weaving on like mountaintops and killing things.
Hey, we're going to get to killing things. I mean,
It's okay because no one else took any other killing skills.
Okay, great.
That's not true.
It's-
I have killing skills.
Oh.
Good.
All right, good.
See, so even with the cut of 2, even if I roll 1 die, that doesn't work. And I only
no,
have
it doesn't.
1 applicable skill.
If you
Unless-
have to roll
Mhm.
with a cut, and you're cutting more dice than you roll, you can still roll 1d6, but you count triumphs as conflicts, so something will always go wrong.
Even if you get a 6.
Can I, while the conversation is happening, look at my chart that I have pulled out and use my edgewise tides and then scrutinize based off of the information that has been given to me, therefore not social and not affected by our reputation?
Yes, I am entirely happy for that to happen.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
cool. So I'll roll 2. That's a 2.
Gosh,
So,
could I?
I got a
help?
2 and a 1.
It's
Okay,
still gonna be
what do you...
bad. I was saying, like, there's no helping in this, I believe, correct?
Oh,
No.
No.
you
It's
can
done.
help. You can help out, but by helping out, you risk those negative
I
things
was
happening
like-
to you as well. Basically,
That's okay. I'm a
Okay.
second con of spiders and I want to be everyone's friend, so I'm gonna
Now-
try.
I
Okay.
did roll, and I got a 6.
Oh, it doesn't
They only
matter.
rolled one.
Okay,
Something
yeah.
still bad
Something bad still happens. In that case, let me combine those two actions. If you trying to find the precise place, and you trying to get more information, if you combine that into one, I think just as she is about to put her finger, just to save you the trouble, on exactly where it is, and it goes against everything in her being to do this. That is when you, Otso, decide you know where it is. So you probably get your finger there first.
Oh gosh.
It's got to be here, doesn't it? Right? Correct? Yes.
Her finger hovers over yours, and then it's like, yes, it's there. How wonderful. It seems like you didn't need my help anymore at all.
Oh, on the contrary, madame.
There's absolutely no way I could have found it without all of the information. I simply I thought you didn't like to point.
I wasn't pointing. And she just reaches down and pulls that chart up off the table. Wipe that chart off your sheet.
Yeah, I had a feeling.
Yeah.
Friends, help. Thank you for help. That's all.
No problem.
Also, at this point, due to how leveled everything is, Greer's starting to feel a little bit nauseous and queasy. I know that, and they intentionally kind of lean over towards her, and I'm gonna say, react to the queasiness. But then, as they're getting up, they look at her and respond in Raxbit. So tell us where.
Oh, okay. I want you to roll your Rakuspit. I want to see how natural you sound speaking it, because that's going to make a big difference. Okay. So, as you say that, her entire demeanor changes. Everything about her changes. And that chart that she was pulling up, she just slams it back down on the table and goes, "Oh, why didn't you say this before? Why have you let me think you... I swear, young people these days, no sense of propriety, no sense of what's important."
It's all theatrics with them.
She tears this chart in half and then scrunches one half up, just throws it over her shoulder. And charts are valuable. She is destroying something which you could probably trade for a good few days of meals if you needed to. And then she kind of pulls more bits of that chart away until there's only a square that much left.
Oh God.
She passes it back to you and says, "Here, an experienced hunter should be able... This is all you'll need." And she passes it straight to you, Grit.
I guess we're off.
Yeah.
Kriya,
Living.
I seem to remember from reading your sheet, you had a sense as well, a particular sense that other people don't have.
It is smell. It is bloodhound.
This chart now has the slight scent of her. From all the ripping and the folding and the tearing. So just so you know, if you need to, you'll be able to find her again quite easily. Okay. But yes, you have all the information she's willing to give you.
Well, then, by our hand, we shall return with the string to hear the instrument play. Ta-ta!
Sorry, one final question. There's only one string on the ship.
Oh.
First trophy.
No, my ship, there's a whole Ajna there. If you could bring the whole thing back, that would be wonderful.
Oh. Yes.
But it's old, and of course the ship has been a wreck for some time. I'm not expecting it to be in great condition, but it should still have at least one string.
Okay. Lovely. Thank you.
Anything else you find there is yours. I tend not to root through my own past too much.
I love it. And we get a solar sail out of this.
Apparently just one. I don't...
Yeah.
Also doesn't want to know this, but Carter definitely does. How many solar sails could I have bargained?
That is
Like, how many solar sails is one string of this instrument worth?
Well, I don't think Otso would know, so I don't know.
Otso doesn't want to know.
I don't think Carter should know either.
That's okay.
That's good.
Let me tell you after the game and then see if it knows.
Okay.
Yes. So
That's
okay.
Yeah.
So I think it is time for you to leave the open hand.
Yes.
Yeah. Which means you're heading back to your ship, which means you're heading back to the thumb. You get some nastier looks going out than when you came in. Because, hey, you are local troublemakers, at least in the perspective, in the eyes of some, you're local troublemakers, and word does travel fast.
Is there anything that Basket could see that could help someone else on the way home, on the way back?
Yeah, tell me what you see.
Let's say like some child drops their poppet and he hands it to them, which could go horribly wrong, but we're gonna offer it.
I would like you to roll a single d6 just to see if it is to go horribly wrong.
Yeah. Doesn't, got a straight up fucking 6.
Okay, great. In that case, the child that drops their poppet, the poppet is actually a tiny Chelicray doll.
I roll forward and surround it and then come back up. Like in a handstand and hand it off to her as well.
Oh, and yeah, she takes it and she smiles at you insofar as a small gal can smile. So I guess there's a kind of fungal crease somewhere in that face. And then she just tells you, "When I grow up, I want to be a spider." And then just kind of runs back off into the crowd. But there are some good-natured laughs from those around you. And I am going to clear one box of local troublemakers. Because just as negative words travel fast, so do positive words. And I like that you thought about it. That's good.
Yay.
But anyway, yeah, you're heading to your ship. And
Awesome.
I think that means we're heading into our first journey.
Yeah.
So, a journey is a specific type of scene. Once you're on your ship, you need one person at the helm and one person on watch. I make a track, which I'm making now. This track is a number of boxes long. When you fill these boxes, you reach your destination. It's a short track. It's a short journey. I typically say that it's close to this wreck that we're going. First of all, I need to know who is at the helm and who is on watch. You can change this route as you journey, so it doesn't.
I feel like I want to be on watch.
Okay. And who's at the helm?
What skills are typically associated? Like, I'm a mechanical none.
There are no skills. So everyone is just as capable of taking the helm and going on watch. We try to keep it so that anyone can jump into these things when they can.
I'll take the
Yes.
helm.
Okay, Basket takes it.
Yeah.
Otso is doing his best not to backseat drive by staying in the engine room.
All right. And Greer, what are you
Feels
doing on the ship?
productive.
Yeah,
Vic?
Greer, what are you doing on the ship?
I
It's-
having a full-fledged conversation with my fungal companion, avoiding my other shipmates, trying to talk through, being like, how do I explain to them this is probably dangerous? Those scars came from some. But,
yeah,
but to
definitely.
my little mushroom friend, not any of my real friends I can speak to.
Okay.
And, that's a pango shroom.
Oh,
I believe.
it's a fungal pangolin that's so cute. I love it. Yeah. So wonderful. First of all, the person at the helm needs to decide how fast you are going. Are you cutting a path or forging ahead? Forging ahead, you travel faster. I mark more boxes, but if there's any danger, you slam straight into the middle of it.
Cutting a path, I think.
Okay. Sensible. And the person on watch, Devren, yep. I would like you to roll 1d6. This is just to see what you find.
Let's see. I got a 3.
Okay, a 3 is a result of nature. I'm going to do this properly by the rules. So, I would like you to fill in a quick description of what the Wildsea is like as you leave port. I'll give you a jumping off point, which is that the sea itself, you are on the uppermost level of the canopy of the sea. And you're used to this place. This is the Thrash. It is the lightest branches. Your ship, with its huge chainsaw prow, kind of cuts into them and drags you forward. But it grows and regrows so fast that it closes up almost immediately behind you. But yeah, just give me a quick. What else do you see as you start making this journey?
So me specifically, I see I assume there's like tiny life in the undergrowth that I can see with the heat vision of my flowers. And so like it's just this vibrant like display of color, of senses. And I am assuming like we're all clear.
Yeah, well, to an extent, because you rolled nature, and you do see a lot of nature. You see dragonflies and smaller fireflies. You see birds snatching insects out of the air. You see a lot of kind of the smaller woodland creatures, and smaller is a relative term on the Wildsea. So you see kind of squirrels the size of dogs and things. Foxes leaping in the wake of your ship like dolphins. And then there is a strange rush of air, and all the creatures around you disappear in an instant, leaping down into the depths of the sea or spiraling up higher from you.
So I alert.
Yeah, I think that's good.
When I sense the animals I'm old enough to know that.
Yeah. And that rush of air, to most of you, it won't mean much, but to Greer, you would recognize this immediately. There is a spore cloud on its way. A huge eruption of spores from beneath the surface, which to you, as a gal, plain sailing, doesn't matter that much. To your companions might be a bit more of a dangerous situation. Because you are cutting a path, you have time to steer out of the way or kind of prepare yourself for heading through the spore cloud. It is up to you what you try and do. As a crew.
If the way I see it, if we do prepare to enter this spore cloud, then it's the safest way because nothing else is going to be in this spore cloud because they're all getting out.
That's fair.
Am I safe in the engine room?
Yes, if you're inside the ship, you're generally safe. Generally being the operative word.
I'm tough as nails, literally. So I'm staying where I am.
Okay.
That is one of my aspects. Tough as nails.
No, that's more of a Greer response than a Vic response.
Okay.
Okay. Do we have things to like? There aren't like masks that fit over.
Some people wear spore scarves. Some people have kind of rebreather masks. But most wild sailors, especially if they have like a sturdy enough ship, will just seal themselves inside in crew compartments as they go through these kind of places.
Yeah, I feel like that's the best thing. So let's just sail on and hunker down.
I'll absolutely stay above deck for any sort of procedural things for all of you.
Yeah. In that case, Greer, would you be comfortable taking the wheel for the next leg of this journey as you go through this spore cloud?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I would like, in that case, as the rest of you head below deck, Greer, I would like you to roll a... What's your ship's seals? Oh, 2. Okay, so every ship on the Wildsea has ratings, and when you're going through something which might kind of get in through the cracks in the hull, you roll a rating called seals, which is how good your ship is at keeping the sea out and the crew in. I would like you to roll 2d6 for your seals.
It was success.
Okay.
It was,
So, a triumph, in fact. I'd like you to describe to me how you steer through this spore cloud so you keep the most kind of well-sealed bits of the ship in the right place to kind of avoid gusts and things, if you don't mind.
so my various pals are also helping. When I say pals, I mean my fellow mycological pals. Are just like kind of going around the ship, like holding things down, but also like making sure that their little spores get into the like little tiny cracks of everything, especially where people are currently hiding. And then they kind of report back and are very, very proud of themselves, and then immediately jump back in and try to reseal things again with their spores to counteract the invasive spores. Because if I imagine, since everyone's used to what they're giving off in general, they have some sense of an immunity to it.
Yeah. And you can see like all of the non-fungal things, so all of the things around you. When this spore cloud, which is thick and it kind of obscures vision, it's so thick, when these spores hit the ship, wherever they hit wood, it starts to blossom into small young mushrooms. But yeah, not so great on exposed skin, or sackcloth, in fact, or fibrous cactusy bits.
I didn't want any fungus growing on me. No offense.
Would I be able to, once we've cleared the cloud, gather these cultures to be able to make sure that it's not invasive to my friends or toxic? Because that's one of the most prominent skills.
While
Yeah,
we're
definitely.
still in the cloud, though, or as we're leaving it, do we need someone to hold watch?
No, I will roll it for you because you won't know
Okay.
what's coming up.
Well, I was going to say, can I craft something, a device
Ooh,
that would
yeah.
allow someone to observe the environment from outside, like from inside the hull of the ship?
Yeah, I love it. Go for it.
Okay.
So as you do that, Vic, if you could roll your gather and see what you get.
That is a 4.
Okay, what are you using to craft?
I have some ancient wiring and can I use the slaughter melons? You mentioned something like soul stuff, and I'm curious if I could use this as an expendable resource in order to make a device that views living things. So it would be the branches of the sea, but also potential predators.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you to roll again because this is going to be much more complex than the first time. But yeah, I think that is a thing that you can do. But this is going to be a harder one.
Okay.
So you are going to have to use those resources, your slaughter melons and your wiring. Those will also give you 1 die of advantage using something, which is good. So what's your edge you're using?
I would say tides, for
Tides.
my knowledge of the wild sea. That feels the most applicable.
Mhm. And have you got craft as a skill?
Craft of 2.
Okay, so that is your edge of 1, craft of 2, and the advantage from having resources to use. 4d6 cut 2.
Okay.
It's a tough one.
6. Now it's a 3. I got 2 6s and 2 3s. Wait, double
that is
doubles.
That is a 3. You don't count the ones that are removed from a cut.
Oh, okay.
But that is it's a twist. It's a disaster with a twist.
Okay.
So this is our first twist of the game as well. Actually, we normally get a twist long before this.
Will
which
be
is interesting.
immediately followed by a second too.
Oh, great. Okay, I love twists. Good. Twists are one of my favorite bits. Your disaster is that your machine does not work as intended in any way, shape, or form. I don't know how you construct it with the wires and the slaughtermelon bits, or what you were trying to aim for, but whatever it was, it went horribly wrong. As a twist, you get an extra narrative benefit supplied by anyone else at the table. So, what happens with this craft that actually works in your favor?
What if it draws the weird thing you made draws the slaughter melon just straight on out of my body?
I am entirely happy with that as a twist. If you're happy with that, Carter?
Carter, you give
You
it.
know what? Yeah, sure.
It just shoots out of my body and slams against the porthole door, and it's just like pounding itself against the glass. And I like open it, and it shoots and rolls to his weird device.
I made a slaughter melon magnet. A slaughter magnet.
You have made a slaughter magnet. I would like you to put that down as a one-track benefit.
I will.
Yeah, you've made a slaughter magnet. That is fantastic, and I am going to not wipe, I'm going to mark one more box on the slaughter melon's grudge track without anything bad happening to you.
Awesome.
Okay. And yeah, you now have a slaughter melon magnet, which is not a phrase I ever thought I'd hear myself say, but fantastic. And Vic, you also rolled to collect some mushrooms.
Yes.
Okay. What did you roll?
And it was twist.
A what and a twist? Success, triumph, or conflict, or?
Oh, sorry. I what I meant was it was doubles for it.
Yeah, I still need the highest result as well.
Oh, the highest result was still a 5.
Okay, so it's a conflict with a twist.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm still understanding. Like I'm looking at it
No, that's
correctly,
cool.
but
Don't worry.
The auditory helped a lot more than the visual.
Yeah, no problem. So a conflict, something good and something bad. The good thing is you do manage to collect some mushrooms. The bad thing is they're not perfect. You managed to get parasitic spore mushrooms. So just put them down as parasitic mushrooms. But with a twist, they can have another quality to them, as well as being parasitic, which can be offered by anyone else at the table.
They are mind-opening. I went for the most obvious. I was gonna say they were really sweet, and then I was like, that's dumb, and I don't want to eat them.
I had magic muffins in a game that were just sweet. They made you happy.
Yeah,
What
I
does it
guess
mean?
there's
It's
just a
gonna make
lot of
sense.
serotonin that's released when you eat them. Like a lot of serotonin. It's great. Beats any sugar you've ever had.
And it also gives you I'll give a like a skill ability to that. Why not give it like +1 to sense if you're taking some mushrooms? You really sense what's going on around you. Like a level.
I am happy with super sweet enhancing parasitic mushrooms as being a thing.
They are parasitic. Don't forget that last quality.
They're not going on my fibrous body. Don't worry.
Yeah, in that case, Vic, super sweet sense enhancing parasitic mushrooms. It's a very long resource description. I don't know if it fits on the sheet or not, but you've got some.
Zesty, happy parasite mushrooms.
Okay, that works too. Okay. So you Greer, you're driving this ship through the spore cloud, and just as you reach the other side, I need to roll something. Okay. Just as you reach the other side.
A brick? Holy crap.
And that was a heavy die.
Sorry.
Look. I'm limited in my resources here.
I loved it. It was
I
great.
explicitly rolled these instead of these so they don't react.
Yeah, I got tiny. But I'm not judging. I'm saying like, wow, that was one heck of a die. Is it made of steel?
I wish. Actually, Wildsea dice coming soon. Anyway, so so the ship kind of plows on through the spore cloud, and as it reaches the other end, I'm going to say you make some progress from being at the helm. But are you going fast or slow, essentially? Vic?
I'm going slow
Okay.
because I
you
have
make some-
the tolerance, and it seems safer that way.
Yeah, definitely. As you reach the other end of the spore cloud and kind of break back out into the open air, there is a watchtower in front of you. Not directly in front of you. If you were going faster, you might have crashed into it. But going slow is safe. I tell many crews this and they ignore me. So you see this watchtower in the near distance. It is up to you what you do with it. And of course, the rest of the crew now out of the spore cloud, you can also come back safely onto deck. Which is still pretty mushroom scarred, but you know, it's like...
I look around at the hull. Is there anything that needs to be repaired or fixed?
No, but it does need a good clearing, because these things, just because you're out of the cloud, doesn't mean they'll stop growing. And Greer managed to harvest some, but it's a big ship. So.
The Mikoto definitely urges the other crew members to harvest. Does no work himself, but does urge continually.
Yeah.
Otso is a worker. Otso helps.
Thanks, Otsa. We need people like you.
If you want to effectively clear the ship, you'll have to drop anchor and stop, because doing things like that as you move on the waves is hard. Complex tasks are hard. On a ship moving from branch to branch and leaf to leaf, it's.
I was considering tying a it's a much more complex ship than just like a regular ship. I can't just tie a line.
If you're ever
along the side.
curious how complex it is,
there's a lot of depths to that.
Yeah,
you're gonna have to
a crane.
get Yeah.
What's wild is that months ago I was I felled several trees in my backyard, and I am well aware of the sensation of walking on branches that are suspended on multiple layers of branches. It is a skill. It's difficult. I did it with a chainsaw, and I'm glad I have all of my limbs.
I'm glad too, just in general.
Cool.
But it's it's a thing. It's not.
So there's a watchtower.
Yes, there's a watchtower.
Yeah. How
visible is that?
we can see it? It can see us.
Yeah,
so if we drop anchor,
half of that is true. You can see it. This watchtower. It looks like it's made of an old Leviathan's rib, just kind of spearing out of the trees around you.
That's that.
And there's a wooden scrap metal gantry and stair leading up the side of it. But there doesn't seem to be anyone in the watchtower.
Can I maybe sense if there are any heat presences in the watchtower?
Yep, there are no heat sources there.
So it's an empty watchtower. How far away do you think we are from our bounty?
Pretty close. Within half a mile or so.
I think that would probably be in our best interest. The system still around here is try to go slightly below, even if it's not noticing it, our eye line. So go a little deeper down, even if that might cause us some difficulties. It might end up helping us.
Oh, it will.
could we do a wide berth instead?
Well, both are viable. Going deeper is tough on the ship, but can be it's a hell of a lot stealthier than going on the actual wave tops. Yeah.
I'm going with my strength.
Down.
Let's go down.
All right.
Go down.
Okay.
In that
If you break
case-
anything, I'll fix it.
Yeah, that sounds good. I would like you to roll your ship's saws to see if you can cut deeper into these waves. Your ship's saws are 4d6. You are basically on the back of two large chainsaws, so decent
Look at those
saws.
things.
I got it.
Beautiful.
Well, I got a 5 and a 6, so we're good. 5, 6, 2, 3. I got everything different, so nothing was a twist. So
Okay, no problem.
just 6.
Yeah, so that 6 is a triumph. Your ship cuts a little deeper into the waves. You leave the kind of light airiness of the thrash behind and dig down into the tangle. The increase in heat. Devren, in fact, it's almost blinding for you at first.
I was just like, ooh.
Yeah, this place is just thronging with life. Basket, your tremor sense is just, again, it's an overwhelming feeling being here. And in fact, I think, Otso, you might be the only person that's not negatively affected by this instantly. Because, Greer, you have a really well-developed sense of smell, and suddenly you're smelling this massive kind of multiple interlinking circles of predator and prey and fruit and sap. Yeah, there is movement everywhere. The branches are so thick together that it's hard to stay upright on your hull without like pushing them away as your ship is moving slowly through this place. The tangle is called the tangle for a reason. It is massively overgrown. This is where the next but one layer of branches all link together. So yeah, you're moving through the tangle. If you stay out on deck for too long, things will start to take notice of you. The tangle is a place of predators more than anything else. However, you are effectively hidden from the surface.
I'm in the engine room, where
That
I
makes a lot
will
of sense.
remain.
Okay, I would like someone to go on watch and someone to take the helm. You are
I'm
nearing.
going on watch
Okay, that sounds good.
because I'm the only one that has weapons.
That is good.
Yeah, I was like, you don't attack anything, so I'll be on helm. Just in case.
Okay. Who is on watch? Yes, roll me a d6, please. Let's see what you find. A 6 is peace, a 5 and a 4 is order, a 3, 2, or 1 is nature.
That was nature.
Nature, okay.
Just
So,
bring into my microphone when they're not angled towards your mouth is always a really intelligent thing.
So, just so you know, when you roll a watch roll, I roll as well. You roll to see what you find, and I roll to see how dangerous it is, and I give you that with context clues. I need to know how fast you're moving. So,
We're moving slow.
okay. The context clue I'm going to give you is probably a reasonably easy one to decipher, which is that as you move slowly but steadily through this huge tangle of branches around you, Greer, on watch, you move past a shape which it takes a second to register what it is. It's something akin to a wolf, hanging upside down like a bat from a branch near you. This thing, you would know it, and all wild sailors know it. You've just moved past a pinwolf. They are wolf-like predators. Oh, they're lovely. Wolf-like predators with pin-like mouth parts and sharpened limbs without paws that can dig into metal and stone and wood, enabling them to climb like spiders across surfaces. This one was not awake. It was just hanging and sleeping from the other side of a branch. But pinwolves don't sleep alone, and you realize that you are moving through a nest of sleeping pinwolves in the tangle. There are 6, 7, 8, 12, 20 all around you. How you deal with this is up to you, but I will say, your engine is
Clearly
loud.
hunting me now.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
That's definitely going to cause me a
Should
trigger,
surface.
regardless of which way I react. It's in my Myers.
Yeah, we're going now.
Oh yeah, if you wake these things up, that is the kind of thing that marks Maya. That is yeah.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense.
How quietly can we go up?
Well, here's the thing. Your ship is powered by a chainsaw. So how quietly is a really, really easy question to answer, because the answer is just no. No quietly.
I
Yeah.
see. Regardless, we can't be surrounded by these things.
Yeah.
Fine.
I would like you I would like you to roll your ship's stealth. which is 1d6.
I was like, can't be that much. But that's a 5.
Hey, that's not terrible.
Okay.
So, with a conflict, you manage to move through this kind of nest of sleeping pinwolves without disturbing too many, but too many is not 0. Not enough to make you mark Maya, I don't think. I think you're fine, because bad things happen every now and then. But 2 or 3 of these pinwolves kind of sleepily shake themselves awake. And a few kind of stalk pin-limbed across branches and hanging from vines just to check your ship out as you pass. And one of them, a more determined sort, just leaps gracefully down onto your deck. Also, in the engine room, you can hear this thud from above you as those pin limbs kind of smash into the metal and wood of the superstructure of the ship. And,
do I see the pin end?
Yeah, you probably see that the little ends of the pin come through. That, yeah, probably.
Okay, because I have a mire, which is the call of the under-eaves grows strong.
I think marking that mire sounds good.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, as your mires get marked, you have to play more and more into them with role play. When both boxes of a mire are marked, they start affecting the mechanics of the game. So tell me when that happens. If it
do.
Sure. But yeah, this pinwolf is on your deck. It's not instantly aggressive. Like, pinwolves are generally aggressive creatures, but this one is still waking up. So it's up to you how you deal with it as a crew.
I had an idea too. If you want to
Okay. I mean, I was just going to immediately pick it up and throw it.
You can't. I was gonna roll towards the crane and activate it and sweep it across the deck, which would be very similar.
How big are they? They're about 3, 4, 5 feet?
Pinwolf is about kind of 5 foot tall at the shoulder.
Yeah. Shoulder. I'm 8 foot. Just yeet it off. It's
okay.
Looking up.
I think you should roll for that.
Things.
Yeah, I think you should roll for it. That is not the worst idea. It's not the best idea either, but I'm not going to stop you.
Let's see. So I'm rolling
Edge plus skill plus any advantages you can grab from your resources and aspects and things.
So sharp.
That's more kind of sharps. Is more
then
kind
grace.
of
Grace would be more of a throwing.
Yeah, grace.
A nice,
better,
graceful yeet.
Yeah,
a graceful yeet. Of course. I love the Olympics.
Yeah, the Olympics. That
You're
and
dancing with that. So
I am absolutely dancing with it. Would wave walk
with
work?
Me, and you'll just toss them.
If I'm dancing with it, kind of.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
Just kind of woohoo! You can't be here. And let's see. I'm grasping at straws here. And how about Skybridge Step in order to know how to maneuver my feet in such a way to yeet properly.
Yeah, you said you were dancing with it. I'm happy with that.
Okay, great. So that's 3. That's 3 down.
Cut 1 because pinwolves, they're big and hefty. So,
Thank you. That is going to be 5. I got 2 5s. So that cut 1 works.
Hey, that is good. So, with your conflict, I would like you to tell me how this goes right, and then I'll tell you how it goes wrong.
So, it's very graceful. I'm at the helm. I see it jump on. Immediately, I step, I pirouette, I turn, I grab, we do a little and it's off the side.
And I think as it goes off the side, it lets out a howl.
No.
And as it falls through and crashes through branch after branch, you hear an answering chorus of howls from the sleepers behind you, which are sleepers no more. I would like Otter, you've already marked. The rest of you, mark a point of mire. You have just woken an entire pack of pinwolves.
Oh, good.
However, the benefit here is that you are past them. They are behind you. They're just now all very, very awake. And you can hear the kind of staccato crunch of pin-like limbs slamming into wood and leaves and vine as they start chasing your ship down.
This
Good luck.
is particularly triggering for Greer, as one of their mires is that. So Greer's probably gonna ask very sweetly to anyone around if they would take on watch for a moment.
You
Yeah.
can speak.
Yes. Yes, I can. I just had to
doesn't happen
trust
often.
you first.
Oh.
I
Trust.
didn't know if you were also meat or meat.
Trust means friend.
Yes.
I love that you're having this beautiful character bonding moment as a horde of angry pinwolves is
No, don't
chasing your
worry.
ship.
That's
We're
how we
going
do
fast.
it. It's
We're going
very DD&D.
I'm going fast.
Are you still at the helm?
Yes. I
Okay.
I was like, I'm going to dance back really quickly.
While you two are like having your little character moments, Otso goes on watch.
Okay.
Okay,
There you go.
so I'm assuming you're going fast?
Yes.
Yeah. You are forging ahead. I am marking off the last 2 boxes on your travel track. You're about to hit your destination, but let's see how hard you hit that destination. Maybe a watch roll.
Great. Nature.
Okay,
Okay.
so you've already encountered nature of a sort because pinwolves are pretty natural, and I think what's going to happen is that you're going to encounter them again. Those pinwolves that are chasing you down, they are dogged pursuers, wolfish pursuers perhaps. I would like you to roll your ship's speed, which is... Ooh, you got a fast ship, 5d6.
Wow.
Who is rolling?
Whoever is at the helm, I believe.
Oh, me. Oh, I'm at the speed. I can roll that.
Yeah, 5d6, that's a fast ship.
Okay, so that's a 6, but it's double.
Okay, so with your 6, you are moving too fast for the pinwolves to catch up. This is a triumph. There's nothing bad about this at all, except you're also forging ahead, which makes maneuvering really tough. You're about to really, really quickly find that ship you were sent out here to find, because you're about to smash into the side of it.
Yeah.
But there is a twist on the table, so if anyone wants to take it, what is an unexpected but useful narrative outcome?
Okay. So it does hit it lightly, of course. And as we're getting close now, as it goes through, it stops, and the chainsaw turns slightly, and it plucks from the bowels of the ship. The single string is right on the edge, and grabbing distance.
No.
You know what? I will give you that.
That's a twist.
If you want the single string is being plucked up by your chainsaw, I am
And it's like a
entirely
perfect
happy with
it's
that.
like yank. Got it.
See,
One.
that
No.
might be a little bit too far. Because the thing about Arjuna strings is that they exist both in the material and spiritual realm. And while that kind of material side of things is easily breakable, the spiritual side is not. And that spiritual side, as your chainsaw blades bring it up and pull it back towards your engine, it just catches and refuses to break. And your chains grind to a halt. You are becalmed in the tangle, and the pinwolves are bearing down on you. What do you do?
Uh-oh.
And I'm making a track, just so you know, called "Hey, Pinwolves Arrive," and it's a very, very short track.
I know what Otso is doing. What are the defense capabilities of this pre-built ship that I'm sure I could find somewhere in this PDF I am?
Here's the thing. The ship's weapon is a sawtooth prow, which deals massive serrated damage. That's also the bit that's not working right now.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got a crane.
Don't you fix things?
Right.
Okay. Okay, here's what I do. I take my artillery spider. I take my slaughtermelon magnet. I take the crane and I lift it. I attach the 3 together at the end of the crane, and then I move it over so that it attracts slaughtermelons from the sea that are then shot at the pinwolves.
I'll take it for me.
I am entirely happy for this to happen. However, I'm going to get to that last because the pinwolves are going to catch you up. And that means that each of you, something bad is going to happen, and I want to see how you deal with it. Let's start with Horton. We'll do you last. Basket.
Basket's gonna sort of roll into the sub area, like try to dive into the other ship. Just straight up try to shoot into it, personally, right now. Mm-hmm.
As you do so, a pinwolf leaps around the branches and it's hot on your tail. Mm-hmm. Make a roll. See how you do this.
All right. So
how do you avoid damage from this pinwolf and get into the ship at the same time?
Cool. I'm gonna try to outwit it, which is +2, with stealth. That's another one.
You can't use 2 skills at the same time.
Sorry, veils. When I said stealth.
Perfect.
My
yes.
bad.
Okay.
Outwit it with veils.
Good.
Cool. Just roll those 3 die. Correct.
Take a cut of 1 as this thing is. It's a hunter. It's on your tail.
Cool. Good, because it was 2 5s.
Okay. So with your conflict, you are going to take 2 points of spike damage. Mm-hmm. This pinwolf catches the back of you and it tears into some of your cloth. However, there's a benefit here. And if you'll let me, I'll tell you what this benefit is.
Sure. I'd love to hear it.
I'm going to mark off the last box on the Slaughtermelon Grudge track.
Yay.
Because as this pinwolf's pin limbs kind of smash into you and tear through, when they come out, it's just got 2 slaughtermelons on its legs.
Now it has.
You don't know how they were still in you. You thought everything had been pulled out by the magnet, but nope, there were slaughtermelons. They do turn up when they're not wanted, and this pinwolf definitely does not want them. It howls and hisses and spirals off down further into the branch of the sea.
Awesome. Great.
Yeah. Cool. And you are in the first trophy, the ship you came in. Let's move quickly to Rakoto.
Okay. Rakoto is protecting the ship in any way he can. So if any pinwolf comes on, I gotta fight him off.
And there are several pinwolves coming on.
No!
In fact, 5 or 6 kind of scamper up the side of the ship. They're kind of 90-degree angle to you, and they're rushing towards you. What do you do?
I just kind of want to be like a wall, you know? Rakoto just stands prickly and stout.
Yeah, you're a pity type thing as well, I guess. Yeah.
Yes, we're both spiky.
Okay, roll for it.
So, sharp and gunslinger poise, and there's got to be one more here. I think sharp and gunslinger poise work.
I can live with that.
That's a 4.
Okay. So you are going to take some serious damage, but you're also to keep these things from boarding your ship. You are an effective wall in this situation. I want you to describe to me how it looks.
Okay, so I see Rokoko sees them all barreling towards him, and I say, "Oh no!" And so, it's very kind of like Tai Chi in the way that it's just very fluid circular movements that draws them all into him. So he's taking serious prickly damage, but they're also hopefully taking serious prickly damage. It's big hug.
Okay.
Uncle hug.
I would like you to take 5 points of spike damage.
5 points of spike damage, which goes. So what happens when I take all 5 points of spike damage from my gunslinger poise?
It means you can no longer use that aspect for the remainder of this session, or until it's healed, basically.
I'll look at that.
But there is no other negative at the moment. You're fine.
I love that.
Yeah. Healing and damage and things don't matter so much in one shot, so you're fine. But over campaign play, they become a lot more serious.
I can see how.
Yeah. And now let's go to Greer. What are you doing?
Is to pop out like an expandable like balancing staff, and just like kind of pop it and check where it is for a second, and then just try to hurl it as hard as they can at the wolf, and aim for a middle point, so like either their chest or clavicle area or their mouth.
I'd say roll it. There is definitely one running towards you as well on the other side of the ship from Rakova. So yeah, roll it. Edge plus skill.
That's gonna...
plus 1d6 because your balancing staff is an aspect, I believe.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So edge plus skill.
3. A 6 and. There's not much else exciting going on here.
Triumph is a triumph.
There's a 3 and a 2 otherwise. But there's not a 1.
Okay.
So it's not a disaster.
That's good. So yeah, okay, you're 6, a triumph. Yeah, describe to me how you kind of, do you flip this pinwolf back off of the ship? Do you, how does it work?
Yeah, there's definitely a leverage of momentum. So they actually kind of, I don't want to say that they dislocate their shoulder, but they're mushroom bits. They're probably a little bit more stretchy. And
yeah, spongy, flexible.
The angle they can just throw it as quickly as they can, and with the momentum kind of either stagger or get it to the edge enough. But I'm not thinking of anything super heroic or insane because I am but a mushroom person. I do not have that sheer power.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm hoping for their body weight to influence most of their movement.
That works for me. And it does indeed. They kind of flip over the deck and disappear into the sea the other side with a kind of a sad howl as they fall deeper into the sea. And I think we'll move into what I expect is going to be I don't want to badmouth everyone else's action, but maybe the most impressive action that I've been waiting for. Slinging a load of melons with a crane?
Yes. So the artillery spider, I'm using craft. Repair is fixing things, and I'm repurposing. So it should be craft, right?
Oh, craft for me.
Artillery spider, the magnet for the slaughter melons attached to that, so that it's basically the catapult turtle from Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah, I know the one.
Yeah. Oh, I know. So it's that at the end of the crane, and then I'm just gonna operate the crane, and I'm diva, I'm playing video games, but it's actually pinwolves.
Okay.
So I'm thinking sharps for just general intellect, 2 for craft, and then can I destroy my magnet and add a die to do that?
Definitely get an advantage from doing that. I like that.
Okay, cool. No cut?
I'm gonna say a cut of 1, maybe, I think.
It's still a 5 with doubles. 3 5s and a 2.
That is still good. Okay, so tell me how this goes right. I'll tell you how it goes wrong, and someone else can tell us what unexpected narrative thing happens.
Okay, so there's this upside down spider gun that is just from every crack and crevice on this ship, there's just these spiky durians that are, I imagine them as a deep mauve color, rolling and just weirdly levitating up to this thing, and then it just shoots automatically at any of the pinwolves that attempt to get up onto the deck. That's a good thing that happens.
Okay. The bad thing that happens is How cruel am I? Quite cruel. Basket.
Well, I went to the deck.
You're actually on the other ship, aren't you?
Uh-huh.
The first trophy.
Yeah.
Well, you know that pinwolf that you stuck melons on and threw overboard? Yeah,
Uh-huh.
that's on the ship too. Unexpectedly, it just comes smashing up through the old rotten floor of this ship. As it is, the melons on its feet are just magnetized towards this crane, and it takes you with it, and you're also drawn up to this crane. And you and the pinwolf and a load of slaughter melons are just spun around wildly on the deck of your longjaw.
This is actually what it sounds like. It's more. It's a horrible sound coming out of the sound of 100 spiders screaming. Imagine that.
Soft sound.
Love it.
But what unexpected narrative benefit do you have from this? It's gonna drive the pinwolves back in confusion more than anything. But yeah.
Maybe one of the what are they called? The fruits.
Slaughtermelons. Yeah.
Slaughtermelons knocked the chain, the string loose, and it went flying onto the ship floor deck.
Yep, I can live with that. Who grabs this Ajna string?
Oh, if I saw it, I would absolutely float over there and go and twirl it and give it a zing.
Incredibly dramatic, and I loved it. Yes. Okay, so you grab this string, and as you touch it, you feel that weight of years. This thing has been kind of sequestered, unplayed in this old ruined ship for so long, and you feel that spiritual side of it. It knows it's going to be played again soon, and it is happy in a way that only a string can be happy, which is maybe hard to describe, but apparently exists.
Oh, but I feel it. It.
And now the Longjaw's prow is unclogged. Maybe getting out of here is a plan.
Ooh. We should book it.
Yes. Yes. No. Of
Book
course.
it cautiously.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh no! Basket's still on the crane, just swinging around and around with everything. Yeah. The pinwolves are howling and retreating. Okay,
I stop it.
There's a bunch of
It
spiders.
was fun.
Okay. So I reckon we should have probably one final roll of this to see how well you extricate yourself from the tangle. Give me a tilt roll, which is a measure of how well your ship can deal with sudden changes in verticality and such. And your ship's tilt is 1d6.
Who's gonna roll it? I have a fancy metal die.
I heard it rolled. I don't know who did it.
No, I was putting down other die.
No,
I didn't
like
roll
the
it.
fancy metal die.
Fancy metal die?
Yeah. Test
From-
off fate.
McClunky, if it fails us.
McClunky,
This
if
is the
it's
one you
you.
gave me. I shit you not, it's a 6.
Okay. In that case, the Longjaw kicks back into life underneath you, and angling upwards in a wild and unstable way, it just shoots up through the tangle back out onto the thrash, and there is that moment where you have weightlessness as it reaches empty air and then slams back down the waves.
Woo, I live for this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And as the sun sets, I believe we're approaching time on the stream, are we not?
It is.
Yeah, so I would like each of you to give me one final little scene for your character as you make your way back to this festival.
So, I, with string and toe, am twirling and leaping towards the house that Madame lives at to present my trophy to her and hopefully swing some free tickets to the concert as well.
That makes sense. I like it.
Otso is going to be following close behind to collect the golden sail, fit it to the ship, but then also try to collect the story of the golden sail so that he can retell it in a bedtime story when he gets home.
I like that too.
Basket is going to be hanging out with his new drummer friends after they finish playing, shooting down whatever alcohols they have, but doesn't affect him because it just rolls over his carapace inside, the many carapaces he has inside, and dribbles down his clothes. But everyone, the goal I hope he has that night is that everyone feels a little bit more comfortable with this freaky Spider-Man. Yeah.
That is always so. I've walked out very secretively to join the festivities culinary staff in assisting them to curate their feast.
Okay, then we shall end on the scene of the performance.
Awesome.
Where the Ajna is restringed and Iteka takes center stage. She sits on that small, simple stool, and the drummers around her, they make themselves ready. Every drum beat, those drums they were using, those animal skin and wood drums, they were just for practice. They're beating their rhythm straight onto this jaw, this huge jaw. And every time they hit it, these little sparks kind of spring out of there. And Iteka starts strumming at the Ajna, but there is a more of a kind of violin sound that you can feel rather than hear as one of her ancestors takes up the spectral side of the strings and begins to play. And so in a kind of beautiful evening of color and sparks and sound and very sack-like dancing, you can have your you can have your summer storm festival, and that's what we'll call it.
Wonderful.